Hey, Ben Wise in ZOAR Fitness, and this is the name game. Workout number 43 is Michael Myers. 10 rounds for time with a 15-minute time cap. We got 3 deadlifts, 7 toes to bar, and 21 double unders. For the deadlift, it is 365 and 255 for males and females respectively, or 80%, and this is whichever is less. So in other words, if I'm a female and I calculate 80% of my 1 rep max and it's 275, I'm gonna be doing the prescribed 255 because that's less. If I do it and my number that it comes out to is 235, I'll be using 235 because again, that is less. So you have to figure out whichever is less, 80% or the prescribed weight here. Let's get into standards. So for the deadlift, you're pulling it off the floor, bar starts on the floor each rep. You have to lock it out at your hip with knees and hips extended. You have to get your shoulder back behind the plane of the bar as you stand it up. So if you're viewing it from like a side angle, you would have to have shoulders back behind the bar, and then you can't bounce it off the floor where it's an obvious bounce where you're getting some advantage out of that. Where you're either rebending your arms and kind of punching it into the floor, or it's just an obvious bounce, right? That's not gonna count. For the toes to bar, you start each rep with the feet coming back behind the plane of the bar. So again, if we're viewing this from the side, you have to initiate, feet come behind the bar, and then as they come up to the top, both feet have to touch the bar at the same time. So it can't be one then the other. They have to be in sync at the same time. Double unders. The rope goes under your feet twice on each jump, and it's got to be successful jumps. You can't just land on the rope and for that count. Those have to be successful double unders. Okay, setup. The one thing that I am gonna make you do, and we've done this before, I'll probably make you do this again, is I want from your pull-up bar, from underneath your pull-up bar, marking on the floor, 8 feet to your barbell. Your barbell must stay at least 8 feet away from the pull-up bar. So again, the reason for that is because we don't want people falling off the pull-up bar, landing on the bar. And again, this has been used a lot in the 2020 season, or the 2021 season, sorry, and we're probably gonna see this continue into the future. So we're gonna practice it. So gotta stay 8 feet apart, and then just put your double under rope somewhere in the middle where it's a nice kind of triangle transition. Strategy, let's get into it. The first tip is to minimize your time under tension for the deadlift. So this doesn't necessarily mean doing singles or doing touch and go. I think it's really individualized. So for example, if we have someone who's maybe more like me, who I like to, once I get a bar up to my hip, it feels almost easier to do reps 2 and 3 after I've actually completed the first one, because kind of breaking that momentum off the ground is difficult, takes more energy and takes more like time and resources to be able to do that. So if I did singles, that would definitely not be the way for me to minimize time under tension. Whereas for someone else, if they feel really strong off the floor in their pool, it might be perfectly fine where they stand it up quick, drop from the top, and just kind of drop down and re-grip and go again and do quick singles, and that could be fine. You might do 2, drop, and then you do your last rep. It's kind of up to you. However, you guys got to know what you're efficient and kind of well-versed at doing for deadlifts. So that'd be the first thing, because the deadlifts are obviously an important part of this workout. Tip number 2 is to save your grip. So this also applies to deadlift. Use a mixed grip, or if you're really good at hook gripping, do that, right? Certainly don't just grab the bar with a double overhand. That would be a really bad idea. Do whatever you can to save your grip. However, this isn't just exclusive to deadlift, because both of these other movements, toes to bar, double unders, they're both gripping movements. So all 3 of these are gripping, hence why it's really important to save your grip. But also, the thing that's actually probably gonna slow people down the most here is probably the toes to bar, right? So if your grip blows up, you can probably still get away with it in like a mixed grip on your deadlift, even though it's heavy, because you just create a lot of neural drive in that. The double unders, you might trip a little bit more if you have a lot of wrist fatigue, but it's probably not gonna like slow you down dramatically. The toes to bar, if you feel like you're falling off the bar, you probably either won't jump up to actually do your set until you're rested a little bit more, or you'll just break more frequently. So it's important that you manage it so that when you're actually doing your toes to bar reps, that you feel like you can hang on that bar for longer. If you feel like if you're literally gonna fall off, you're gonna break early. So save your grip as much as you can. Because the movement interference in that particular pattern is gonna be high. And then tip number 3 is to rush your rest. And this is specific to what you think your limiter in this workout is gonna be. So I'm kind of thinking of like movement wise, right? So say we have somebody and 365 is 78% of their max, right? So they're doing the prescribed weight, and that's really heavy for that male individual. Well, frankly, what they're probably gonna do is they're going to move through their deadlifts as quick as they can, and then they're gonna rush through doing the toes to bar, and then rush through doing their double unders, and they'll take a longer, slower transition to kind of catch their breath a little bit more and to manage their fatigue so that they can brace really hard and effectively in that deadlift again. Again, that's gonna be like their slow transition there. They'll rush, double unders, rush, toes to bar, rush, double unders, and then take a longer time going back into the deadlifts, right? If we have someone who their toes to bar aren't really refined yet, or they break down quickly, they'll rush the double under, rush the deadlift, and then take a longer transition, or just maybe break it 4-3, something like that, where again, they're giving themselves a little bit of time there. If the double under is probably gonna slow you down, you're not super skilled with that movement yet. You'll get through the double unders as quick as you can, but you'll rush through the toes to bar, rush through the deadlifts, and then kind of take the time to collect your breathing and kind of catch your breath a little bit and compose yourself before you actually go in your first set of double unders. So think about this workout, think about what movement is gonna slow you down the most, and then kind of alter your transition times based on that so that you can actually breathe and brace effectively and keep your skill intact. So those are the main things that I think are really gonna be important for this one. If you're someone who's just watching this on YouTube and you're not a pro member yet, or you're not one of my athletes, you can get a free trial of Pro for 7 days. Check out the protocol. If you go to zoarfitness.com/pro-trial, I'll link to it below. Be sure to check it out. For everybody else, best of luck on Michael Myers.